In today's video, we are talking about new construction trends. So if you are building or thinking about purchasing a new home, you might want to stick around. We're going to talk about trends to embrace and which ones to leave behind. If you're new here, hi, I'm Ashley. I'm your virtual paint color consultant and decorator, and my job is to help you design a home you love. So let's get into today's video. Something I love doing every year is to go to the Parade of Homes, which is a tour of all the new construction builds in all different price points. I love walking through homes and seeing how they're decorating, seeing what trends are coming, seeing what trends are moving out. So I'm going to share that with you today. So let's get started with exterior trends. The first thing I'm noticing a lot on the exterior is a lot of stonework. So with a lot of the black and white houses that have just been so prevalent over the last 5-ish years or so, there was a lot of board and batten. Now there's a lot of stone. Builders want to create visual interest on the exterior. That is one of the number one things that people say to me when they come to me for an exterior paint color consultation. You know, how can I add visual interest? And stonework is a great way to do that. However, stone is very complicated and often comes in colors or undertones rather that are just very challenging. Look at this beautiful house. This is the not HGTV. This is a Southern Living Idea house a couple years back. This stonework is what you need to look for. This is limestone. This is so neutral, so easy to work with. So if you were thinking about a new build, and a lot of my clients lately have come to me looking for paint colors to go along with stone on their new build, I always direct them to something like this because it's so forgiving, it's so easy to work with, and it's a gorgeous way to make sure that your home is unique and stands out. I just mentioned black and white houses. I know some of us are a little sick of them. I know a lot of you you love them. That's great. But builders are kind of waking up to the fact that the black and white trend is, on the tail end, and they are adding color. I loved to see all of this color. I saw some blues, some blue greens, which I think are just stunning outside. I did see a lot of grays, which I wasn't super happy about because they weren't the warm grays. They were those cold blue grays that really, I think honestly, this is the secret to blue gray. If you want like a blue gray color in your home, you either need a lot of white trim or you can balance it out with some pretty creamy trim, and that kind of warms up the cooler blue gray. So that's just a little tip. But I did notice a lot of color, but I'm super excited about this direction that we are heading towards. Now this might come as a shock, but I actually noticed more white windows than black. Now, if you have been driving around neighborhoods that have nothing but new builds, or you are in the market for a new build, or if you've searched on Pinterest in the last few years, you know that black windows are super popular. It seems like if someone is replacing their windows or designing a new build, that is the only option. However, builders are starting to transition to more white. I would say out of the 15 homes that I toured, and we drove through a ton of neighborhoods, I would say 80% of those homes had white windows. So it's definitely on its way out. I'm already seeing some of my clients, they like the black and white look, but on their windows, they're keeping that more timeless and they're choosing white windows. Now, if you are someone that likes to do timeless things, white windows are always going to be timeless. If you're someone that can afford to replace items every now and then, big ticket items, and you really like the black windows, go for it. However, a lot of my clients ask me, especially when they're building a new build, what is the most timeless decision because I only have the ability to make this once, and my answer would be white windows all the way. Moving indoors, a trend that is nothing new, it will not surprise anyone. Open concept living is huge and here to stay. Now, open concept living I think has pluses and minuses. It's great for entertaining. It's great if you have small kids, you want to keep an eye on them as you move throughout the house. However, I think unless you're someone that is okay with seeing clutter, it becomes a little overwhelming because you literally can see everything from every vantage point, and you do feel like your space has to be a little bit more organized, a little bit more picked up. So that is a negative. Another negative is a lot of people like rooms like offices or studies on the first floor with this open concept living, and that becomes a little challenging because you really don't have any room to go to kind of close a door, take a call. So that's just something to think about. A lot of the homes that I saw, you know, you literally could see everything from the mudroom to the office to the bathroom to the kitchen and living room, everything as soon as you walk in the door. Again, pluses and minuses, but I do like the idea of kind of segmenting smaller areas that are meant to be a little bit cozier or for privacy reasons when you're taking a call in an office or something like that. The work from home trend continues, and builders are responding by offering dedicated office spaces in virtually every single house that I toured, whether it was a price point at $300,000 or $1.5 million, there was an office in every single home. So I think that trend is here to stay. I love that idea. What I would say if you were struggling with, you know, should we devote this amount of square footage to an office in a smaller home, make it just a little bit bigger and use it as a multi-purpose space. Add a couch, add some armchairs, boom. It doubles as a secondary entertaining space or a living room, a quiet place to read a book or have a cup of coffee. That's a great idea if you are struggling with designating so much square footage in a smaller home to an office. Use it as a multi-purpose space. Now, I know I said builders were moving away from black with windows. However, on the interior, builders are embracing black. This outfit choice that I made was not happenstance. I chose it on purpose because there is so much black and white on the interior of these new builds. That has been the trend for several years now. It is on its way out. So again, if you are someone that wants to make the most timeless decision because you're only doing this once and you don't have the funds or you don't care about changing it every 10 years, which it's absolutely not necessary. I think timeless is always the way to go. Choose black sparingly. There are instances where black makes sense, but black for every single decision. For instance, I saw black on knobs, pulls, fixtures, fireplaces, staircases, accent walls. It was literally the only color decision builders made. So when you're planning a new build, or you're shopping for new construction, or even a renovation, you want to really, really think about the color black. I was so happy to see this because builders are giving you choices. In terms of the most timeless choices for things like plumbing fixtures, knobs, and pulls, I will always, always tell you polished nickel, brass, or chrome. Those are the most timeless choices. That's going to withstand the test of time. You're not going to feel like you need to renovate 5-10 years down the road. Mark my words, just like the gray trend was so big and then it went out in a flash, the black trend will do the exact same thing. And it's not because black is bad. Gray is not bad either. It's the overuse of these colors that's what tires people out so much. So the bottom line here is black is great. Use it sparingly, but it should not be every single color decision that you make if you are opting to build something that's timeless that you don't have to renovate years down the road. In the kitchen, of course, the expansive kitchen island is something that is on the top of everyone's wish list, and that's pretty much all I saw. I think this is great for entertaining. I love it just for everyday family life as well because it's just so conducive to conversation. The only complaint that I have heard from some of my clients is they went a little bit too big with their island, and it's just a little bit cumbersome in terms of the work triangle. So that's something to think about when you're building your house. You know, I've seen a lot of influencers, DIY bloggers that have kitchen islands that literally seat 10 people. And that is maybe a little bit too much. You're going to be constantly walking around that island getting various things in your kitchen. So that's something to think about when you are planning your kitchen in a new build. I did a video earlier in the year about color choices for cabinets other than white, and it did really well. So if you are thinking about that, I'll link that below. Make sure to check that out. But I was pretty upset to only see in the new builds white or gray kitchen cabinets. And it's not the warm gray that I have been loving and a lot of you have been embracing. This is with the cool blue-gray kitchen cabinet. So that's just something to think about as you are building a new build. It is really difficult to work with cool blue-gray. Now, if you are going with an ultra-modern house, the cooler tones do work, but most people are not building an ultra-modern house. So when you are picking cabinet colors that aren't white, which I think white cabinets are great. Again, I always tell my clients, that's the most timeless decision you can make because you can always accessorize add color, and you don't have to feel like you have to rip out your kitchen every 5 to 10 years. However, with the gray color, if you want a warmer gray, make sure you are comparing those colors to other grays, because you don't want that cooler blue gray. That's a color you're going to tire of. You want a more neutral gray, and that's going to be a gray with a green undertone. And again, if you are struggling with this, I do have some videos that can walk you through choosing a gray with a neutral undertone. Quartz is still king in the kitchen. That's pretty much all I saw. I think white quartz is a great timeless choice. It pairs beautifully with off-white colors, which a lot of people want to put on their cabinets right now, so no complaints about that trend. Besides quartz, the only other consistent thing that I saw pretty much in every kitchen was the use of subway tile for the backsplash. Now, this is apparently a very heated debate. I personally love subway tile. You can get subway tile as cheap as 11 cents a square, to very expensive because it's handmade, kind of has some movement in it, some light reflectance to it. Do not dismiss subway tile. There are really all different kinds. I think it's one of the most timeless decisions you can make in your kitchen when you're going with like a white or an off-white subway tile. Again, it just gives you that blank canvas that you can warm up through the use of wood tones, color, pretty pendant lights. You will never regret putting in white subway tile in your kitchen. This might be the most controversial thing that I say on this video. Who knows, I'll wait to hear the comments, but accent walls. There were so many accent walls. And I know this is a trend because I do have clients ask me pretty frequently, well, if this is my wall color, what should my accent wall color be? And I really kind of think HGTV is to blame for that, because I think that they did just a ton of accent walls. Here's my take on accent walls. I'm really not into them in main living spaces. I would rather, if you're gonna go with color, just go all the way in with color. If you're gonna do a really cool wood treatment on your walls, go all the way around the walls with that. Now, I know a lot of people like the accent wall in the open concept living because it's so open, it can be hard to know, where do I end this color? Where do I end the board and batten, the shiplap, whatever it is you're putting on your walls? And that's why a lot of people opt for accent walls. If you are really set on that, what I think you should do is, like this photo, put it on your fireplace wall, add some nice built-ins on either side, or some nice bookshelves that look like they're kind of built in, and make that your focal point. That is a little bit easier on the eyes than just one super dark accent wall, or one really nice wall accentuated by really nice trim work, and then, you know, that's the only place that it is. Now, accent walls in bedrooms, I really like that, so that's something I think you can just go crazy with. But in main living spaces, I am team no accent wall. Speaking of walls, I noticed a ton, well, really the only color besides the accent wall, and maybe that's why the accent wall is so prevalent, because there was no color in these houses. It was nothing but white walls. I know that has been trending for so long. So many of my clients want white walls. I try to steer them to softer whites that kind of warm up spaces, or very, very pale neutrals that tend to just really breathe life into spaces. White walls, guys, are so hard to live with unless you have a budget for artwork and drapery and fabrics that is in the tens of thousands. It's really difficult to make pure white walls look good. So as you are making your paint color decisions for your new builds, I urge you to think about creamier off-whites, creams that aren't too yellow. I know a lot of people really don't like the super yellow creams, or pale neutrals. Pale neutrals are where it's at. That is what I am specifying probably 9 times out of 10 when a client wants a fresh and modern paint color for their open concept or living room, something like that. It just warms up a wall. It's just, you don't feel like you have to go out and put color on your walls, floor to ceiling, so that the room doesn't feel clinical, doesn't feel stark. Pale neutrals all the way. No more stark white walls. I saw so much trim work and I was so happy about it. I love trim work. You know, new builds can be hard in terms of like, how do I bring some personality to this brand new construction home? Trim work is an easy way to do that. It's not inexpensive, but it is an easy way to bring character and warmth to a space. Now, just like with the accent walls, I do prefer trim work you know, when it wraps the walls all the way. I saw a lot of trim work floor to ceiling. You can also do what's behind me, where you go 3/4 up the way of the wall with trim work and then choose a really pretty color to place at the top. But I was so happy to see a lot of trim work. Again, you cannot go wrong with this trend, and honestly, that's a very, very timeless look. Another thing that I noticed pretty consistently in every single home that I toured, and again, I probably toured about 15 homes in all different price points, was engineered wood. I love this trend. I am here for engineered wood. I just installed engineered hardwood in my house. You can sand this down 1 or 2 times, so it's great in terms of longevity. And I would urge you to look at engineered hardwood in the lighter brown to medium brown tones. You want something that's timeless, that goes with everything. You want to stay away from that gray color wood that is not timeless. It's going to date your home instantly. But I am here for engineered hardwood. I think it's a great decision. Now, of course, if budget allows, hardwood, love that. But engineered hardwood, I do like a little bit more if you're a family that has pets or kids, because it is a little bit more durable. Now, you can't sand it down, you know, however many times you want. It's really just 1 or 2 times, but it's extremely durable. Now, I am sitting in our upstairs loft, and that is the trend that I saw in every single house. Every house had an upstairs loft, an upstairs landing that doubled as a secondary living room, a teen hangout, a kid hangout, whatever. I think that's a great idea. No more of these narrow halls when you go upstairs. You have another place to gather with your family, play games, watch a movie. I love the idea of an upstairs loft. I think it's great. As we wrap this up, I will say this. I noticed throughout consistently there was mismatched tile and stone paint color. None of the undertones coordinated. When builders had to make a decision, especially in a bathroom, and I see some of my clients struggle with this, the undertones were all different colors. So when you are planning a new build, it is so important to put all of your pieces together and see how they work together. They should be in harmony with each other. You want them all to be in the same color family, neutral color family, same undertone family. You do not want to pair a cool blue-gray tile with a warm gray vanity or wall color. You want them to be in the same, so they look like they were meant to be together. So that's just something to think about as you're planning your new build. I know it's so many decisions to make, but that is one that's really important. So that wraps up this video. Now, if you do need some help with planning for your new build, I do offer virtual paint color consultations, so I can help you choose paint colors for your new build. I can also help you through my phone consultation option with just any questions you might have about designing your bathroom, kitchen, paint colors, what have it. As always, thank you for watching, and good luck planning your new build.